We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Carolina Panthers. Kickoff now just moments away. It is finally time to crown a champion, as I'll hand it over to the two men who will call the action, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the six-time Super Bowl champs from the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers, taking on the champions from the NFC, the Carolina Panthers. Alongside my good friend Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, excited for this one. I mean, Charles, the Steelers back in the Super Bowl once again, their 9th appearance overall, second only to the Patriots' 11. But if the Steelers win this one, then they'd be on top of the all-time win standings, as it would be their 7th title.
What a franchise. Come on, join me for a minute, okay? Come back to the 1970s with me. Back to the steel curtain defense. Back to Terry Bradshaw, quarterback. Throwing to Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. Franco Harris running the football with Rocky Blyer. That team was something, all right? And that started the path to where we are right here, right now. This team's pretty good, too. And they want their own history. What an accomplishment this would be to win a 7th Super Bowl title for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Meanwhile, for the Carolina Panthers, they make their 3rd visit to the Super Bowl in team history.
Let's go back to Super Bowl 38 in Houston, 2004. Hung tight with the Patriots. Lost by a field goal. Adam Vinatieri putting it through the pipes. They lose 32-29. Second visit wasn't quite as close. That was Super Bowl 50 in Santa Clara, and the Broncos just ran over them on defense in that one. That was a tough loss for them, 24-10. But this team, they have a different look to them. This team looks like that they are focused, composed, and ready to win.
The first Super Bowl of a new decade. Super Bowl is fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the man taking number 3 overall back in 2008. It's their now veteran quarterback, Matt Ryan.
And at times, it's hard for me to believe I'm saying veteran Matt Ryan. Still remember him coming out of Boston College, full of enthusiasm, mastered their 2-minute drill in his first OTA. What a player.
Ready? We ready? 98 to Mike. Get that quarterback at all costs. We're ready tonight.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. He'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one goes for 24 yards.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Down, ready, we ready. Here in the middle, 55. I got you. We ready, man.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48.
They do not score.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. When we look at this unit like we are now, Greg Olsen has become such a reliable target in this league.
Loves to be considered the #1 option in the passing game in the offense he plays, and he lives up to it. Knows the defense is set for him, knows how to beat them.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
I'm coming for you. You mine. Kill.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already into field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose.
Ready, blue 80. Blue 80. 98 to Mike. Watch the pass. Ready, set.
Well, a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And a look at the Steelers' defensive unit.
Bud Dupree came out of the University of Kentucky determined to let everyone know that they play football there as well as basketball. A terrific pass rusher off the edge.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. McCaffrey on the counter. Down to the 25. Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Here's Ryan, and he's got his target. That's more. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ready, blue 80. To Mike. Check, 55 to Mike. He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Ready, set.
From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. McCaffrey with a first down and more. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. With the first touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Panthers take it right down and score on the opening drive. And on the grandest of stages, with the whole world watching the Super Bowl, they come out and get the first points.
I don't know how you feel about Brandon, but for me, watching the beginning of the Super Bowl, I've often wondered how come it's not just a fumble fest? How come the ball's not all over the place? The nerves, the interim in between of the 2 weeks waiting for the game. But this team came out and handled it just like it was a regular season walk in the park. Terrific start.
Extra point try good by Gano. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger leading out the Steelers, and Ben making his 4th Super Bowl appearance. He and the Steelers winners in Super Bowls 40 and 43 before falling to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Super Bowl 45. All told, Ben with 3 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions in those 3 appearances. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Now a handoff here to his running back. Tackle made by K1 Short. Offensive starters, here they are. David DeCastro, what do you think about him, Charles?
Brandon could not have been better trained at Stanford. So well schooled in the run game and the pass game, and especially in pro principles. David DeCastro could be an all-pro in the years to come.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch.
Now Roethlisberger. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Right there.
And the starting crew defensively for Carolina.
Eric Reed is a safety that you can use all over on defense, both in the box as a tackler and back deep as a cover man.
Here we go, here we go. Blue 30. Check, check. Watch 54, watch 54. I'm coming.
Roethlisberger now off the bootleg. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. A Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Let's go, defense. Hey, man up, D. Man up, D.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. K1 Short with a sack. That's 315 pounds of man right there. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 4th down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Fighting him off. That'll go as a 46-yard punt with a return of 7. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the 2nd quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend.
Ready? 25. I'm on. Deuce.
The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
98's the mic.
Crunch time, defense. He's cracked.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan, he finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. This is McCaffrey. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From the shotgun to McCaffrey. 7 here on 3rd down.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory.
Ready? 98's the mic. All right. Here we go. Let's go, D. Let's go. Hey, let's get that.
On 3rd down, Ryan. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he's got the 1st down yardage before being taken down at midfield. First target, first catch, and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 2nd down, McCaffrey. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
2 minutes even on the clock in the first half of Super Bowl 54. A reminder, coming up at intermission, we'll get highlights of this Super Bowl from Jonathan Coachman and the crew in Orlando for our EA Sports halftime report. Now it's Ryan. That's to McCaffrey, complete. That one goes for 8 yards.
Let's go.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Come out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective 3rd down play to move the chains. Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10, and he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. From the shotgun, Ryan. And he's got the hook up to Moore. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. The Steelers now in the nickel here on third down. Throwing again, Ryan. Got a man, it's right. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's now 10 of 10 throwing the ball here to start the game. To throw again is Ryan. And caught left side, Olsen. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Ryan will throw again. He'll drop it off to McCaffrey. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, his second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Panthers, they widen their lead. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Gano the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And the end result, a Panthers touchdown. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now it's Roethlisberger. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Watch the pass.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Pick me up. Here we go.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Like 80.
Mike, check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Rabbit.
Like it.
On first down, it's Roethlisberger. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash, it's a 38-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. This one fielded at the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. What a season this has been. Hard to believe it ends tonight, as we'll get back to you guys for the second half of this Super Bowl in just a moment.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go, let's go.
The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
Set! 230.
Mike's by 4. They can't hang with us.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. And to give this time to the tailback. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Going deep to the end zone for Jude. And this is caught. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, 36 yards, as his guys are back within a single score. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. Well, sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long, man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
They're going to keep it on the ground for the stop. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half.
Ready, blue 80, back 25. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
They'll try to get the running game going with McCaffrey. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give him 15 there, and the Panthers have a first down. Fifth catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
59,
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Ryan. And the tight end Olsen, right side. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 18. It's a Carolina first down.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. And with good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Out of the pistol, McCaffrey. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
It's easy work, and it's
That's going to
again.
go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Ready, blue 80, blue 80. 98's the mic. Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go.
On 2nd and 12, Ryan over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore.
Baby, get him, boys. Get him, boys.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
You must be getting tired of seeing me. Kill.
From the gun, it's Ryan. And he's got McCaffrey open, complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Fourth down, and here's Graham Gano now in the field goal unit for the Panthers. From the right hash, this from 53. And did he have enough? He did. He kept it on line and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And that'll push the lead up to 8. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
To win. Let's go.
Juju Smith-Schuster and the rest of this offense heading back out there. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Man, when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. 1 quarter remains here in the Super Bowl. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now it's Roethlisberger. And that's knocked away and incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Fielded at the 20. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. T.J. Watt in on the tackle. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. 13 yards, 1st down, Panthers. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. On the ground, McCaffrey. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Some nifty running, but it only gets him to the 45. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Watch the curl, watch the curl.
To throw on 3rd down, Ryan, complete to right. 13 yards, 1st down, Panthers.
We got this.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Here's Ryan. Open man is Samuel, complete. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
The clock showing 2 minutes even in what's been a memorable Super Bowl 54. Welcome you back, and let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. McCaffrey, and this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go again.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And this carry not as productive. He swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
We gotta get to the ball, D. We gotta get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
They'll run with McCaffrey.
Rush in.
Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. Here's McCaffrey, and he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and that will extend their lead even further. So barring something extraordinary here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Yeah, we've got to find 2 scores, so, we're not going to exactly move it over there yet. It can be done. But, boy, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch for them, isn't it?
Yeah, they would have to move incredibly quick and have some luck, too. After knocking through the field goal, here's Gano back out there now for the kickoff. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
All day.
So Ben Roethlisberger and the offense down by 11, a little over a minute to go. They've come so far this year, but they need 2 quick scores late in this Super Bowl.
Start. Black 20.
Mike 54.
I got you, punk.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
First down now, but that clock rolling. On first and 10, it's Roethlisberger. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lying?
And this is caught. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. That's it. It's all over. And the Carolina Panthers are your Super Bowl champions. And when this moment comes, I think you look back at all the blood, sweat, and tears, the offseason, the workouts, training camp, week 1, 2, 3, all building up now to say you're a Super Bowl champion. It's worth it.
It certainly is, and rarely do we have a team that hoists the Lombardi Trophy that didn't have their share of bumps along the way, didn't have to face some adversity in the journey, and now they get to just enjoy it and revel in it. And all offseason, they'll be signing their autographs with Super Bowl champion underneath it.
And they end this year just how everybody wants to end the year, holding the Lombardi Trophy. What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next season right here on EA Sports.